All right, so the meeting of the Vassalboro Sanitary District come to order.
You need to speak up, please, so people can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You can't hear it, you're standing right.
I can hear him, but other people are complaining to me that they cannot hear you when you talk. And I know you can talk louder than what you are right now.
Wow, are you complaining?
No, she's agreeing with me.
All right, we got a list of paid invoices to be approved by the board and
Oh, yeah.
signed.
Right here. Did you get yours? Do you have any questions on them?
Nope.
Do you have any questions on them?
No.
Did you see the second page of the invoices that we cannot pay because we don't have enough money to pay them? Which should be on the back side of this right here.
What is the shortage
Any on
amount?
the back side.
Unable to pay.
All these,
All those, yes. I'm sorry, what did you say?
What's the total amount?
21,000.
$21,407. But $11,000 of that is savings, that is money that I need to put away monthly for the loan payments on the USDA loan and the new Clean Water State Revolving Fund loan. So I did pay the insurance one today, but I had to pay it on credit card because that's our commercial insurance.
Yeah,
This one right
sure.
here.
Yeah,
So I had to pay it on credit card so that we didn't get,
yeah, right,
Yeah.
use it.
yeah. Yep. Okay. So is everybody all set with everything else? You all set with this? Any questions?
Yep,
Yep, you have questions, or yep, you're all set?
no, I'm all set.
Okay. Al, can you sign this for me, please?
Okay.
Can you see that yellow right there?
Again,
Anywhere in that yellow, please.
anywhere in that yellow.
Yep,
Right there?
looks good. Thank you.
Nice lights in here. Nice lights in here. Rest of the things falling apart, but the lights are good.
Okay, okay,
The outstanding AR as of 8/12/2024 is $38,683.37, which includes liens, and those liens total about $19,201.13.
yes. Okay,
Nothing much said about that, is it?
there is a foreclosure notice that's gonna be mailed out September 25th for the quarter 4, 2022. There's only one foreclosure notice. This person normally pays, they normally wait for the foreclosure notice to pay. So,
So we only have one left? Are you saying we have one left?
we
Or
have
more?
one foreclosure notice to mail
Okay.
out.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
all right.
Charter to go to the town referendum in November for approval of the changes made to section 3. Trustees for agreeing to do
Plurality.
voting when trustee terms is up.
There is a public hearing March 3rd. There's 3 questions that the town of Vassalboro has,
Yeah,
Is asking.
this one?
yeah, maybe, that they're asking for the referendum in November.
That,
Yeah, it's ours. I might not have printed that, you or me. One question is about the bridge, or hill, or whatever it is.
No, Hillbridge.
Yeah, that's one question. For them to authorize available funds to contribute toward the replacing of that. The second one is asking the voters to amend the town's TIF ordinance so that the town can use the TIF money for environmental projects in town.
That's a park, them doing work at the park.
I don't know if it's a park
Oh,
or
that
also
bridge.
the-
Oh,
I
both.
think, I think it's about the bridge, Mill Hill Bridge.
Yeah, but, and then ours is up here.
And the third question, seeks voter approval of the amendment of the Vassalboro Sanitary District's charter to set up a system of electing Vassalboro Sanitary District trustees.
Yeah. So I talked to Aaron today, and I emailed him the charter with the changes that the lawyer had made, so that
Yeah, and he posted the new charter,
today,
no, last week.
okay, that one does not have the lawyer's
Markup.
correct.
So is it different than, or is it just highlight the changes?
It shows what the changes are.
Okay, but the actual end text is the same?
Yeah, because I had to retype that charter.
Yeah, because I posted online, I posted the old section 3 and the new section 3
Yeah,
next to each other so people could compare them.
yeah. And then Aaron suggested to me
Right,
to show the changes that the auditor made.
right.
So the new one's gonna be coming out in red. It'd be the whole charter, it's gonna be coming out with,
Okay.
The
I'll
changes.
I'll update it online.
so,
And then I had questions when you have when you get to that point where we can ask questions about
Sure.
the charter. So, in it, when they talk about plurality, are they talking about where they'll separate out the ballot, so just the customers of the sanitary district vote on the board, or does it go to the whole town?
my first assumption was it would go to the whole town, but Chris French has been talking about doing a district strictly for the Vassalboro Sanitary District. I don't know where they are with that.
Okay. And then I noticed in here it also has that let me read it off for you. All trustees shall serve until their successors are elected at large by a plurality vote of the voters. Does that mean that, so there's multiple questions there. So I know one person sent in their information saying they were interested in being on the board. You should have received an email from somebody.
I got an email requesting the document to be filled out, and I've not received it back.
Okay. Well, that person that requested the document is interested in being in the board. What, you sent them a form to fill out? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make sure that they may not realize that they haven't completed the loop. So theoretically, if that person, say, did complete that form, how would this process work? Because that would be actually for Lee Trahan's position, correct? Because that's already a vacancy?
There is a vacancy, but I also have to be off the board because I'm not supposed to be on here as treasurer.
Okay. So would your vacancy be then filled first?
I say yes. I don't know how the Board of Trustees feel on this.
Okay. And then, because it says that trustees shall serve until their successors are elected, you had mentioned in a meeting, last meeting, I think, that Ray and Al were gonna step down in December. Is that contingent on new people being elected? And if so, does that require it to be during next June's voting? Or is there a process in place as people fill out that form that they're interested will be adjudicated and potentially sworn in?
My thought on this is they fill out the form. I give it to the Board of Trustees, whoever's here, so you can stay past December.
Well, it sounds like they have to stay past December.
No, because it also states in there that if there's nobody there, that
says, in case of a vacancy arising from death or other causes which shall include removal in the discretion of the appointing municipal officers for failure to attend district meetings, the municipal officers of the Vassalboro shall fill the vacancy by electing a trustee from the municipality to serve until the municipality fills the vacancy at the next town meeting. So it would sound like only they could vacate in December if it was deemed death or failure to attend meetings.
Well, they do, I'm thinking that they're gonna do the same thing that they did with Lisa. Lisa wanted to come on the board. We wanted Lisa on the board, they said yes, they swore her in.
Okay,
And then when it comes up again, she will just stay on the board unless you choose not to.
well, it sounds like then, so Lisa and whoever else is put on the board between now and June would come up for election again in June.
Yes.
Okay. And in the meantime, if, 2 more people come forward to be on the board, then that could be Ray and Al's replacements as well.
Yes.
Okay. And it would be the same process that Lisa went through. You all would screen or
Yep.
whatever, and then it would go to the select board to approve.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Well, hang on, yeah. So the charter is going, that question's gonna be made for the charter to go on the referendum in November.
Right.
Okay. Number 4.
All right, a 3-year contract with attention to detail, Darrell Gagnon for mowing, snow plowing. Darrell's not increasing his prices for the next 3 years, and he gave us his contract. Many pages long, everything he covers, what he's responsible for, and what areas he's covering, which is quite involved. So I'm make a motion that we accept his price.
You can
I've
make
gone
a
through it
motion.
all.
You can make a motion.
Well, I make a motion, we accept his contract. Mowing and snow plowing and cleaning up whatever needs to be done when needed.
At the
If anyone
present,
wants to see it, it's here,
Are
there.
you able to verbalize what the price is for the viewers at home? Or is that
There's a lot
because
to
it's
read
not
here.
finalized yet?
There's a lot to
Yes.
read. I think if someone's interested in it, probably I'll come and look at it. I'm not gonna read this whole thing.
you don't have to read
Is
it.
it a-
He charges a lump sum of $10,000 a year. That's what we're paying him now, and he's gonna keep that price for the next 3 years. So, and he isn't here tonight, so
No.
we're not gonna be able to sign, but
Yeah,
As
we
well-
can sign that half and wait for him to come back.
no, we'll sign it all together.
Yeah,
I'll make sure you and him are together when they sign it so that I can get it taken care of.
yeah,
So, all in favor?
I'm in favor.
You have to say, all in favor of,
Darrell's contract. Yeah. no, good. Other business, you got anything else?
yes, I do have a few things. Last month, I made the comment again about getting that office set up down on Cemetery Street for a new person. I'm gonna need help with that. Somebody needs to be doing some research to try to get that office set up for internet or whoever. I don't know who to use. I've been Googling some stuff online, but I don't find a whole heck of a lot. I don't know. On Facebook, I can never find a place where they put what it is that jobs out there that they can do. You know what I'm saying? Like Meredith put something special out there on Facebook. Under Vassalboro Community Events.
Yeah, she has albums that you can put things in for.
Yeah, well, I can never find it. And I didn't know if there was something out there that somebody could check into. Do you have internet? I mean, do you have Facebook?
I do. We have Spectrum.
Oh, we have Spectrum too.
It's just on the Vassalboro community page, or group, Vassalboro
I
community.
know a couple of people that use that Starlink, the satellite internet, and that's about the same price as internet through a cable provider. And I don't know if it's quite as fast, but they seem to like it pretty well. And there's, the setup fees are not all that much compared to running a wire down there, if that's what you have to
And see, and I don't even know if anybody will hook up, because we're more than 300 feet, that building's more than 300 feet off the road. And I've been told that if you're more than 300 feet, they're not gonna hook you up.
do. Yeah, well, that might be an option. I've seen the receiver is like a square, like this big. Just, one I saw was a portable one. I don't know if they're all that way, but how they mount them.
So like, does it go on the roof, or
This
on the
one's
ground,
This one's
or?
on the ground. But
Wherever you can get line of sight to the satellite that you're pointing at.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Wherever you can get line of sight to the satellite.
But there's a lot more satellites than there used to be with like those dish things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd also thought of Fidium, but I don't know. Like I said, I need help with somebody checking some stuff out. If anybody is interested in helping.
Saying that to the rest of the board or community volunteers as well?
Both,
If somebody, okay,
both.
I'll see if I can send somebody your way.
Any help you could give us would be greatly appreciated. We need to advertise for my position, it's gonna entail all of office stuff. Unless the board wants to make a decision to see about getting a company to do it, I don't know. I don't know what everybody's thought is on this whole thing.
Would it be maybe useful to explore both options? You can do a price comparison. It might become an obvious decision once you look at the cost of each option.
Yeah, and I don't even know who to go with. There was one company that somebody is going with, and they said it's not all it's cracked up to be. So, I don't know. I'll have to reach out to somebody and see what's up, what can be done. But this position needs to get hired. The office on Cemetery Street needs to get set up.
Do you do billing in-house?
Yes,
What software do you use that somebody would need to have experience
the
with?
QuickBooks,
The desktop or web version?
desktop. My auditor advised us not to go web version.
Yeah, I use both. I would advise that also. They don't even seem alike.
Yeah, they're totally opposite, they're
If you're-
totally different,
If you're
right?
used to one, don't switch.
We need to meet with Chuck to review his 2020 agreement and make some changes in it.
With who?
What's that?
What you just asked me?
We need to meet with Chuck, Water Quality and Compliance,
Oh, yeah.
and talk to him about changing the contract some. Because when I get done, I'm not gonna be doing all this stuff. This new person will not be doing all this stuff that I'm doing now. Okay, so,
Well, you have to make probably a list of what's changing or what's added on that you're not gonna do anymore.
right, yep. And I'm just throwing this out here.
Yeah, I don't know if you need to meet with them or just write a letter, kind of include what you think should be in there.
Yeah. Back in June, when we had that public hearing to vote on the price increase that we forgot to vote on at the first public hearing,
Yeah.
the question was brought up about capping prices. So I reached out to legal counsel, and they informed me that even if we cap a rate right now, we cannot stop the new board from not capping any rates, because the trustees have the power to set rates as they deem appropriate. And the only way to do that is to make an ordinance change, to do an ordinance amendment to set a cap, which means that's going to have to go in front of the town people also for vote.
November? Or you're talking about in June?
I was probably in June, but even if we do a cap, the next board can just take it off.
This is the readiness to serve, so I think what you're talking about, the cap.
That's any fee that they want to cap.
But the discussion is readiness to serve.
Right.
Not necessarily about just arbitrarily capping all the costs.
Right. So I'm just putting it out there just so you're aware that we can't just vote and say it has to be at a public hearing and we have to discuss it with the customers.
For any raising costs and stuff like that?
Yeah, anything to do with funding, not funding, anything to do with pricing.
We, as you know, I worked.
Yeah.
We had a cap. Anything over 12,000 cubic feet, we capped. We had a commercial rate and a residential rate. We were a little bit different than you. Special meeting for rate increases. A cap as to commercial, there was no cap at commercial. We charged commercial more than the residential. I retired a year ago, and the residential, I don't know what your fee scale is, but when I left a year ago, the residential, we were charging $5 per 100 cubic feet. That was based off of the water usage.
Mm-hmm.
What's your key base? What is your rate structure? We went from 0 to 5,000, we charged X amount. Then 5,000 to 10,000, it may have been 10 cents more. Anything above in commercial was a flat rate all the way across the board, whether they used, a small building like this, it's a commercial building, you'd be charged the same rate as like a Home Depot or a Walmart or something like that. Is that how your rate structure is? No.
No. All right, number one, we don't have any commercial, right? I mean, Geraldtown's not considered commercial.
Right, you don't have any special classes, you just have one rate for everybody.
Right, so we,
Per cubic foot.
You have a baseline,
So
right?
it's much higher than $5 a 100 cubic feet.
we have a base fee for connecting to the system.
And how much is that?
That is going up to, hang on a minute. That's going up to $195.
That's all.
We have,
Well, that's just a one-time fee, that's just a connection fee, right?
no, that's the building rate, and that's the line charge for being connected to the system. A quarterly line charge,
Quarterly.
quarterly of $195.
That's the base fee?
Yep,
What we have done, if we have different combinations in our town, we have water and sewer, we had just water customers, septic customers. We had to basically bring a line down Main Street for the building of the new high school. And each home on our Main Street was, they calculated its EDUs, equivalent dwelling units, and how many bedrooms, and they formulated it. So what they did is not everyone in town where the line came and stopped, each of those houses were assessed X amount based on how many bedrooms that they had. They put that to the tax bill, but the way that they formed it did go into, quote, the sewer. Now, if there was another house, somebody had 3 acres and they built a house where it wasn't the line's already in. Then they would charge 5,000 right off the top to enter that sewer club. And that may be something you may want to look at as a big entry fee if you've been there for forever. People, if you lived up too high up where we couldn't get the gravity to bring it down, we did a waiver, we didn't assess them that. That way, everybody's kind of paying their fair share.
Yeah.
And that's the way that we had handled it.
We only have 200 customers,
That's all.
and they're all mainly on the main drag and some on some side streets. So it's always been the same price for everybody, because we can charge the quarterly line fee. There's also a building drainage fee if they choose not to have an inspection of the home to make sure there's some pump or whatever does not go into the sewer system. Water fee. We have some customers that are ready to serve fee that when this construction was done, they put stubs in the right of way of the roads.
Right.
So when their systems failed,
They
it's
tried.
there to be hooked in. That's $75 a quarter. And we have water usage at 17 cents a cubic foot, depending on what they use for water.
You get your baseline. Once you go past that, then it's 17 cents a cubic foot.
Wait a minute, what do you mean you get the baseline?
Well, you get your baseline price for the water, and if you exceed that line, and we're paying so much a cubic foot.
They get billed 17 cents whether they have 5,000 cubic feet of water used or 200.
Your
Am I not
baseline-
understanding you?
The baseline, you have X number of gallons for your baseline?
No.
Well, I thought that's how it was.
No.
Baseline.
No.
We have talked about that concept of equivalent dwelling units before in regard to the base fee. It's certainly something that I think that you should look into more, because you have 200 customers, but some of those customers are 12-unit apartment houses, and some of them are duplexes. And some places are duplexes in town, but they have two, each one has a meter, so they count as two. So some of the higher volume people are not, everybody's paying the same base fee, but it's not really divided out based on their actual size.
So you're saying like if somebody has an apartment building with 4 apartments in it, you're gonna charge them the base fee of $195 per apartment?
Oh, that's what I would do.
Because they're using more water, more, so that's the way our town did. You
And if
know,
you use more water, you pay more money. That's what it should be. It's
That's-
one rate.
Right, it's that base fee that is, like in Winslow, the base fee for the residential customers is a certain amount, but then other commercial users pay a different base fee.
Right,
The district pays a different base fee.
but we're strictly residential.
You're not residential as far as Winslow is concerned, you're a customer.
No, I'm talking about here. We don't have any commercial customers. We don't charge businesses with,
These rental properties are commercial properties. They're residential wastewater, but they're commercial customers.
but we don't know how many apartments are in these buildings.
Well, I have a list. I don't know if it's accurate,
Most of the buildings in town are all apartments.
it was done by Al's brother back 10 years ago.
Oh,
But I do know there's places like the Dearborn that has a bunch of apartments, and they're just paying one fee, aren't they?
yes. And they also use 10 to 15,000 cubic feet of water.
Yeah,
a
so
quarter.
so they're paying for their water use, but they're not really contributing equally for the base fee. So that means the people that are just a single-family residence, proportionately, they're paying a higher cost of that base fee.
This has been discussed before and it's been turned down by this board. So,
Well, it just came up, I thought I'd mention it again.
right, no, I'm just saying this has been discussed more than
Yeah,
once.
I know, has its pros and cons. And it would be a shock to a lot of people if you tried to implement it.
A lot of apartments in town. A lot.
Well, we wouldn't have to do another price increase. We wouldn't have to do another price increase.
I wouldn't mind paying whatever it is per gallon, it's equal to anybody else is paying. But if you're gonna quadruple it, I'm not for it. Never will be.
Lisa, you have any thoughts on this? Do you have any thoughts on this?
Have any what?
Do you have any thoughts on this about charging, if you have an apartment building, say you have an apartment building with 3 units in it, you charge, they get charged the base fee 3 times?
Yeah, it's an apartment.
I don't have that, so I don't care.
You get 2 buildings like together.
Well, you.
So what would it look like?
You have 2 water meters, don't you?
Yeah.
It's, I'm just talking about mainly the ones that just are one water.
He only gets 1 bill. He doesn't get 2 bills.
So you only have one water meter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, well, that's what I'm talking about.
So
Some of these apartments have 2 water meters, some of these duplexes. So those people aren't seeing any benefit by doing that. They're paying 2 base fees.
According to what the readings I get from Kennebec, excuse me, from Kennebec Water, there's only 1 duplex that gets 2 bills.
Yeah, well, I knew there was one. I knew there was some, maybe not more than 1. I don't know, but nevertheless, it's not really fair, is it?
So what would it look like if you sat down and figured out that way versus the way that we've been doing it?
It's gonna take me some time. I need to find out in these apartment buildings how many there are, how many units there are.
He says he has a list.
Yeah, but who says they haven't done modifications in the apartments?
Right, but it would give you a wag, it would give you
An
an
idea,
idea
an average. Yeah.
with existing data, and then you could, could decide whether you needed better data or not, or if it made the decision for you.
Can you send that to me, please?
I've already sent it to you,
When? Back in 2015?
probably. That's probably the last time I looked for it, so one of us has got to find it.
So now I gotta go dig it up.
Well, so one of us, I just said, one of us.
And-
I can see if I can find it. I remember spending a lot of time looking for it last time, so it wasn't that long ago. And I don't remember if I tried to do a better job. Excel spreadsheet, a scanned Excel spreadsheet, and it had handwritten houses. And I don't even know if they're addresses or if they're names. So they may not mean anything anyway. But I'll see if I can find them.
Okay, thank you.
And there was something else that just walked over my head.
Hang on,
Next thing, you got any more on your list? Or?
I'm looking, hang on a minute. No, I'm all done now.
So but I do have another question.
Yes.
So with regards to this, what other towns utilize this way of figuring out their sewer bills?
I have no idea. I I don't know. You want to reach out to Waterville and Winslow and ask them? I can email
Okay.
Winslow.
Okay,
I can email Winslow, but you want to reach out to Waterville?
sure.
Just to ask them the question?
I'll see if I can't get a couple other towns, just to see what a consensus is as
Yep.
to how other towns do it.
Yep. Okay.
I came from Massachusetts, and I lived there 20 years.
It's an update from Richard.
Yeah, I know when I first took this over, I was told to just do one flat fee, that was it. It's gonna be the easiest. But, yes, Richard,
But
can you update us on the Hoyle and Tanner bidding process and the construction phase for the pump stations, please?
Well, they sent me plans last week and said, here's the list of contractors we're gonna send this to. And I looked at the plans and I said, well, I see something that needs to be fixed. And I had to come up here, and I came last Friday and measured, took some measurements to fix the problem. But that's the last that I've heard. But the plans have been approved by DEP, and they're gonna send them out to contractors for a 30-day to get bids.
Even if something wasn't right on it, they're still gonna do that?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Now they've got to fix that. And
Okay.
that was, I gave them the information last Friday, so I haven't got an answer.
Okay.
So Richard, you might want to go check out this new layout of granite. I've been dealing with these people, they're keeping your driveways narrow, way too narrow for the type of equipment we have. Today, that these are not Model A trucks, it only takes an 8-foot opening. The trucks that go down there to pump, they probably have equipment on the side of their truck, so you have to have a little bit of access to the sides. And if you look at the granite, the angled pieces, it's like one's lined up with the tree line and that meter, and the other one looks to me like it's in part of that driveway to get down there. So it's a narrow opening, forcing the trucks to be up against that chain link fence with the brush and that meter. I think they need more space. I asked them to do, I had the same problem across the
Which
street,
place are you talking about?
right down near
North
the
Main.
pump station.
North Main?
So they laid new Alton granite in. And before they get to tiring them or blocking them in place, I think the north end of that driveway needs to move over a couple of feet. And I asked them to do that. They weren't really, well, it changes the angle. They're looking for 2% because of the handicap sidewalks. I said, cheat it a couple feet, that's only a couple of inches. I says, in height elevation, I'm sure you could do a blend, but you can't have your curbing in your driveway and run over it with the trucks.
All right, so that's North Main that you're talking about?
Yeah.
I'll go look
Did
at
you-
that.
The guy parks his cars in and you'll see it, it's like it runs by and you can see where the tire marks are going down there would be. And it's gonna ride up on that granite because they're forcing you to go against that chain link fence and the brush, and there's a pole there with a meter on it.
Yeah, maybe I should ask CMD to look at it, since they're the ones that you're usually driving down. They can,
Cause I figured they gotta have access to both of them trucks, their hoses and whatever else they need, right? Well, the way they gotta push towards that fence, it's gonna be tight. I had the same problem over here.
Did you talk to Quinn about that?
Oh yeah, I did. I was on them twice on that, but if you think we need more space, then I'll definitely get after Quinn about it.
okay.
He's the top guy. I'm dealing with him on a lot of them anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got that check, by the way, from the state, where they were taking a property.
Yeah, using it and paying for it.
Yeah, so I got that in the mail the other day. So,
Yeah. I asked Johnny, he didn't know anything about it, so.
you're right. We don't talk about this. The pump station service by Champlin, or whatever their names are.
Mhm.
I see we're still getting messages. Is that still got to do with whatever
Well, I
you're
sent you a
doing?
long email the other day telling you what we did,
Yes,
and they didn't necessarily solve the problem. But what they did was, there's two separate problems. One has to do with the backup battery, and they definitely didn't solve that problem, but they wanna put in there's these little, they're like those little button batteries that you buy, except I looked them up online and I couldn't find the exact replacement around here. So they're gonna buy some of those and see if that works. But they're not quite sure why that continues to be a problem.
okay.
And the problem at the East Vassalboro with the float levels, with the water level warnings, seems better. They went in there and they found that they didn't have one of those tubes, those drying tubes, and I don't know why it wasn't there, but I went in the cabinet and I thought there was one there, and there was, but it was old, and it was almost used up already, so they don't necessarily, it's just a chemical in there that absorbs water and it gradually gets used up.
Was that the one that was on top of that transducer?
Yeah.
That came with that transducer. Why would it be used up now?
Because they have a lifespan.
Oh,
So anyway, they put that in, and it seems like things are better, but I noticed we were still getting some errors. And the next thing they're gonna do, if that doesn't work, is they're gonna replace the transducer.
So, that thing that I give you a hand, we had to cut the ends off. Did you end up there to run a new hose? Remember, we saw though like this hard cement, and I had a pole saw.
No, we didn't have to run a new hose on that one, because we cut the end bit off, but the other one, he was able to get the old hose out and put a new one in, the one down at the east. So he's been running the chemical, and then I guess he didn't run it for a while, and then we got complaints from the guy up in Winslow. And so we started it up again, but he was still not satisfied, so we doubled the dose of chemicals. And that was last week, I think, a week ago, a couple of weeks ago. Told him to call me if he still had a problem. And that doesn't mean he hasn't had a problem, but he hasn't called me.
I smelled sewer a few days ago when I was outside talking to Pratt and Son. Right in my driveway. I don't know where it was coming from though. But that's the only time I smelled it, so.
I wonder why you'd smell it way over there. It must have been coming from the pump station there.
Yeah, well, the brooks are kind of low, really dry, and things are down low. Might be swamp water.
It wasn't swamp water. No, there's a difference.
But I believe
I'm used to
we're
swamp
running-
water.
We can run more chemical, but of course it's expensive. And so I think Jared tries to minimize it and kind of adjust it when we get complaints. But he said, well, we haven't been running very much because we didn't have the pump for one thing for a while. So he thought there was plenty, so he cranked it up. See if that would solve the problem up there. I calculated it'd probably take a couple of days for it to reach the pump, reaches the line up where his house is.
I did place an order for chemicals. We got 3 barrels apiece coming to north and east,
Each,
each. Yep.
they are coming?
Well, they ordered them.
Oh, okay.
I told them to call first because of the construction and the lip to get into East Vassalboro. If they bring that in on a tractor trailer, the landing, is that gonna drag when they come down over that 3 to 5 inch lip?
It's the they don't have granite over there.
No, but it's the tar that they put down.
Yeah, I think you'll be all right with that. I think they blended that in.
No, they haven't blended it in.
Yeah.
I was just out there,
Which one are you talking about?
East Vassalboro.
Yeah, I asked Quinn to have him put some gravel in there, because I didn't want to drive in there.
They were by the water, the filtering system, Kennebec Water District yesterday, grading the side of the road, leveling it out, and they have that hay, chops up hay bales, but covering
Which
everything.
blows away when the cars go by.
Oh,
So
stuff,
it's-
oh, I know, but
it's
it was
nasty.
dusty. They had a handheld jetpack blowing all the
Oh,
dirt.
no, when the cars go by now, the hay disappears.
Yeah.
Oh, are they all done over there? Are they all done over there?
I don't know if they finished. I went by and they were by the water district. Making a heck of a cloud. You couldn't see through the cloud. And
Well, I talked to-
as you got closer, then you saw they were blowing it, instead of shoveling dirt or raking it off the top, they were blowing it off
Oh, you mean they're just using a blower to...
to clean up the roads, and then they put the hay, seed.
Yeah, well, that would make it pretty dusty, it's been pretty dry.
Yep. Anything else?
Right, you said you did the inspection for Winslow Car Wash, Renata's Restaurant, when they put the new system in. Yes? So, we got some paperwork that needs to get signed. Then I gotta send it to him to get it signed. But we need to have that paperwork in order so that, what did I do with it? So that, the next people that come on, if they have any questions about it, they'll have the information.
Yeah, did you fill out the forms?
I have them right here.
Did you find the date that I did that inspection?
It was, yes. The 8th?
The 8th of August?
Maybe. The 8th or the 18th?
Yeah, I thought I took some pictures there, but I don't see any. Maybe I put them on took them off my phone. Or maybe I didn't take any pictures, but I thought I could have sworn I did. Well, anyway, you have that inspection report from when they hooked in, so that has the date on it.
I didn't get any. All I got was this.
The one that we did when they put the line in, that I inspected the installation and signed, filled out.
Yeah.
for you and sent
Yeah, I
it.
do have that, but I left it in his folder. Yeah,
Just need the date.
well, I just need you to sign.
I can sign it, but you'll need to fill in the date. It wasn't that I was doing necessarily a drainage inspection, but we did go inside and I looked at all the plumbing.
All right. Well, if you want to sign this, then I got to get this back to them to sign, so we need to try to make this a little more uniform, so we don't make everybody have extra work. Okay? So I'll leave this out here for you.
Are you talking about for me or for you?
I'm talking about everybody. Everybody.
You have a pen?
Yeah, don't write on that bottom one though, if you're gonna write with that top. Please.
Yeah, I should have figured that out by now.
Thank you. That's all I have. I don't know if anybody else has any other questions. You have any questions?
No questions.
Oh,
No?
all right.
Well, meeting adjourned. No questions?
All in favor?
Ooh.